Welcome back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Norfleet with Norfleet Integrated Solutions, and it's my pleasure to have with me today John Green with Operation Barnabas. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, John, some people have not heard of Operation Barnabas, so let's start briefly with what is it? I know it's a nonprofit, helps veterans, but it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, we like to say that our bread and butter, our foundation is obviously in faith in Jesus Christ, and that we want to help veterans be whole again. And so the key to that we discovered is one-to-one mentorship. And so every veteran that comes into our program is assigned one human being, and that person doesn't have a caseload. They're not working with 10 people, 5 people. They're working with you. And they're dedicated, they're caring, they're loving, and their goal is to help you set goals, that veterans set goals to be whole again.
Okay, and that wholeness is a holistic wholeness.
Yes,
so it's
ma'am.
looking at everything.
We're looking at everything. We call it triage. So when they come into the program, we're literally looking at everything: credit scores, education, job history, even incarceration history, the different things, challenges that are going to be facing them. And we triage based on that, and then start setting meaningful, measurable, manageable goals.
Okay.
And each week, the mentor is helping them meet those goals. It might be to get reliable transportation, because we know in Jacksonville there's not really
It's not a public system, believe
Right.
me. I came here from someplace that public, you can always get public transportation, and woo, I tried to wait on a bus the first time I put my car in the shop. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and that's one of the things that we really work on. We work with some of our partners like Mercy Auto. And that's one of the first things usually is they don't have a vehicle. So trying to get that, we look at the wholeness of everything from job to housing to transportation, everything.
Okay. And so when you first started out, you were more on homelessness, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
just like, those homeless vets trying to make sure they have a place.
Correct.
So you've kind of morphed into a little bit more now, right?
Yes. So as we're shifting, so we're actually building on a 2-acre property called Fort Barnabas, where we'll be able to house our homeless veterans in a safer environment. We had them in a local hotel, and it was a blessing, but it was challenging in many ways because there were still drugs.
Right.
There were still
so they're still exposed to a lot of things where it's not really a
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So Fort Barnabas is going to allow us to kind of create a more thriving, healthy environment. So while that's being built out, we kind of just realized we were getting calls from veterans that had a car, had transportation, had a job, had married, kids, but they're in a spiral. And we said, man, what would it look like if our mentors were able to step in and prevent? Because every one of the homeless veterans, if you really kind of trace back their history, there was a point where they started to spiral.
Right. And they decided to, wherever they were leaving, I've talked to a lot of homeless vets. We did something with them in Michigan. And if you hear their stories, a lot of times at some point in time where they just felt overwhelmed.
Yes.
And they decided to opt out.
Yep. We had a nurse that was a licensed nurse, and she just met the wrong guy, and he talked her into doing some things that were illegal, and it caused her again to lose her job, lose her life, and kind of spiral. So there's always that moment, and so we're like, what if we could step into the story at that moment, assign them a mentor to help guide them through the marriage crisis or whatever
Those difficult times when they actually have somebody to talk to and know it's okay, you can get out of this.
Yes. I mean, you don't have to go down that downward spiral.
Wow.
Yep.
So how old is Operation Barnabas?
Officially 2017, so 6 years now.
Okay, great. Congratulations. That's
thank you.
always a major milestone for a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am. We actually, though, began kind of doing the work. One of my best friends.
Like most people do, right?
Yep. So somewhere before that, Trey and I, the co-founder, we were actually got to spend the weekend with him up in North Carolina, and we were trying to figure out, was it 2016, 15? But so officially 2017.
Okay. Wow. So, ballpark, how many veterans have you served?
So, from homelessness, living in the backyard in a shed in somebody's backyard or under a bridge somewhere, homeless to whole, about 157.
Okay, that's great.
But probably we call, because of the triage thing, probably we've lost track of probably thousands of just, it might have been an electric bill.
Right, just something to help them out of this.
Right, a mentor, might have been marriage counseling, something. So, but the wholeness program, 157.
Okay, so what would you like people to know about Operation Barnabas? If people are listening, there's a first time hearing about it, they say, oh, that might be something I want to check out. So what would you like them to know?
So what we hear from veterans all the time, and not just veterans, but people, is even though we are, this amazing country, this amazing land where we're connected with social media and Instagram and X or Twitter, the reports are coming out that we're the loneliest, we're the most isolated. And so these veterans that are so used to living in community with each other get out and they isolate. And so we are about community and connection. We have a Tuesday night group that meets every Tuesday night, and it is just, last night it was so amazing to see the people from the community just coming, and they're all saying the same thing. My wife told me to come here. My friend told me to come here. Hey, my buddy said this was a great place to come and be around people that love you, care about you, and are gonna help
make
you
any
through
demands
life.
on you, right? Just
Right.
want to help you.
Absolutely.
Right.
So community and connection, that's what Barnabas is about. And if a veteran or even a civilian, we'll work. Our focus is veterans, obviously, but we have a lot of concerned civilians too that are saying, hey, I want to be a part of this and help. I want my first responders and my military to be strong. I want them to have strong families, and so it's been really amazing to watch.
Okay. Well, John, I really appreciate you coming on today and sharing about what you do and actually how you kind of evolved from just the homelessness to treating whatever that crisis is in a veteran's life.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us today and learning more about Operation Barnabas. Please, please, please reach out to them and be part of that community and support our veterans. And we'll see you next time on Buzz TV.